it's crazy, guys. I'm sitting here just like thinking about my life. I'm like, man, dude, at this point, I'm like 26 years old. So I'm like, bro, man, I'm sitting here at 26 years old and I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing. I'm on state probation. I don't have a driver's license. I don't have nothing to my name. And I literally have an epitome. And I tell myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get clean. What's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? So, I know I've already told y'all the story about my fentanyl addiction. Some of you already know that I had gotten clean once before, and I stayed clean for about 5 years before I relapsed on fentanyl. I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about the time I got clean and turned my life around and did real good for a good 5 years and relapse. So this video might get a little long. It's kind of a long story, but I was dating this girl named Heather. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. I was dating this girl named Heather. I was on state probation for a felony that I had committed. I ended up violating my probation and had to go to jail. Thought I was going to go to prison. I ended up not going to prison. But in the meantime, while I'm in jail, the Heather girl leaves me for another man. So I end up getting out of jail. And before I went, I was doing drugs real bad. I wouldn't say real bad, but I was messing with pain pills and stuff like that. I've always messed with pain pills, opiates. It's always been my drug of choice. So I get out of jail and I start basically messing with drugs again. I go see my PO and get everything set up and all that, get my address set up. And I start doing drugs again. This time, I start selling drugs. And I'm also messing with the girl again that left me. When I got out, I didn't want to accept it. I got left. It hurt my ego, whatever. So I hit her up. We get to messing around again. And I notice as long as I've got drugs on me, she stays around. She was a drug addict. If you got drugs, they're going to stay around. So I kept drugs on me because I was slinging the shit. But I had ended up getting addicted to this stuff called Subutex. If you don't know what Subutex is, it's kind of like Suboxone. It's a prescription maintenance medication to get you off of opiates. But it's an opiate itself, and you will withdraw from it just like you would Suboxone. So I ended up getting on Subutex for about, I don't know, I want to say a year. I'm doing it every day. I'm waking up in the morning doing it. I'm doing some before I go to sleep, and this is just my routine every single day. So I end up, I'm using 2 different vehicles at this point too, and both of my vehicles break down. Just shitty luck, right? I end up having 2 vehicles break down on me, and then I'm sitting in my dad's house with no transportation. I'm wondering what the hell I'm gonna do, and I'm laying in this hot ass room, just laying here sweating. I've got a couple of pills and a cigarette pack, and it's crazy, guys. I'm sitting here just like thinking about my life. I'm like, man, dude, at this point, I'm like 26 years old. So I'm like, bro, man, I'm sitting here at 26 years old and I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing. I'm on state probation. I don't have a driver's license. I don't have nothing to my name. And I literally have an epitome. And I tell myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get clean. I'm going to get clean. I'm going to get in the gym. And I'm gonna flip my life around. And guys, I shit you not, that's exactly what I do, but it's a long story. So, stick with me. After that, I guess I end up going home, but I've got it on my mind, I'm gonna get clean. So I stopped selling drugs. I stopped getting the Subutex. And this is before I really knew what a withdrawal was like. I didn't really understand it. I had dealt with little withdrawals before, but I had never dealt with it to the point of where I had been on something every day for a year. So I'm like, I'm going to get clean. I'm not really expecting these withdrawals. So I go to work the next day. I'm feeling okay. But the next day rolls around and I'm like, dude, like what is going on with me? I'm not feeling good at all. So I literally just go through these withdrawals. I don't, and I almost break a couple times. I come this close to going and buying more drugs, but I was so dead set on getting clean, I tough it out. And I'm working through the whole thing. So I go through this entire withdrawal, working. And in about 2 weeks in, I make it 2 weeks, and I go and get a gym membership at Planet Fitness. I'll never forget. I go and get a gym membership. I go buy me some gym shorts and, you know, a little shirt to wear, some gym shoes to wear to the gym, and I go to the gym. I go to the gym. I'm skinny as hell. I just got off drugs, and I get me a workout in. And this turns into a regular thing. After work, I'm going to the gym every day, and I'm starting to feel better and better. And so if you want me to talk about the withdrawal real quick, it took me a month to get over that withdrawal. Literally a month. You know, the first 2 weeks were the worst, but it took a month to get over that withdrawal. And I'm working out. Everything's going good. You know, I left the Heather girl alone. I told her, you know, I'm good. I'm going to move on with my life, whatever. I'm going to accept it. It is what it is. I never talked to her again after that. Literally, never talked to her again. So I end up meeting a girl named Jessica that ended up being my wife. And she was a great addition to my life. You know, she didn't smoke, didn't do drugs, didn't do nothing like that. We end up going to the gym together. So I end up really getting addicted to the gym. Like, it becomes something that I love doing. I'm getting these results. I'm feeling good. And I get addicted to the gym. So I get a routine in my life where and me and this girl end up moving in together. We end up moving in together. My job's right down the street. Her job's right down the street. Life is going great. I start meeting the requirements of my probation. I start paying them money. I'm reporting. I'm passing my drug tests. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I'm working like crazy. I'm saving my money. And I start experiencing a life that I've never really experienced before. I'm getting new clothes. You know, she's taking me to Kohl's, and I'm getting new clothes, and I go get a brand new phone. And at this point in my life, I had never experienced what it was like to enjoy the fruits of your hard work without drugs and alcohol. I would always blow my money on drugs and alcohol. So it started snowballing, and I started getting more and more addicted to just being sober. And I started to really understand what they mean when they say get high on life. I was getting high on life, guys. My life was going great. I didn't crave drugs. I was enjoying going to the gym. I was enjoying my results. I was enjoying living the sober life and just having money in my bank account. We would go on vacations. We'd go to Gatlinburg and things like that. And so, yeah, it went like that for a while. You know, I stayed in the gym, and we ended up getting our credit together, and we ended up buying a house. So we moved out of the spot we was in. We ended up buying a house, and life's going great. We ended up buying a house, and then we end up getting married. Now, I'm thinking, you know, life is great. Everything's good. I've got this new body now. You know, I look good. I'm making good money. I'm still young. My ego ended up getting the best of me, guys. And I realized real quickly that I was not ready to be settled down and to be married. And I wanted to get out there, and I wanted to play a little bit more. You know, you can call it what it is, but that's just what it was. I wanted to get out and play a little more. So I end up leaving my wife. I left her the house, everything. And I ended up divorcing her. So I move in with my brother, and I'm going crazy. You know, I'm hanging out with all these different girls. Life is great, so I think. And this goes on for 3 or 4 months. I'm hanging out with all these different girls, spending tons of money. You know, I'm still drinking at this time, like drinking alcohol. I never really stopped drinking alcohol. So I end up meeting this girl named Ashley. She was from Atlanta. And then we end up hanging out. I end up, you know, pretty much falling in love with this girl. And we ended up dealing with each other for probably 9 months, 8, 9 months, and then I moved to Atlanta. And then I stayed down there for about a year. And we you know, our relationship wasn't that great. We argued a lot, things like that. And so, and I started drinking more too when I went to Atlanta. I started drinking a lot more. But ultimately, it didn't work out between me and her. I end up moving back to Cleveland. And this is where my fentanyl addiction series starts. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit. And then after this, you can go back and watch that. My fentanyl addiction part 1, 2, and 3. This is where it starts. When I left the girl from Atlanta, Ashley, and moved back to Cleveland, Tennessee, where I met Aisha. Then I broke up with Aisha. And then I moved back in with my brother. And I got this good job and I was doing my thing. And then I met Tank. And her and Aisha got into it in my driveway. And she dropped the pill in my car. And I found the pill. I found the pill. And I thought it was a Roxy 30. I took it in my bathroom, busted it in half, snorted it. It was so strong, it literally made me sick. But I wanted some more of it. So I ended up hitting Tank up about a week later and telling her, yo, can you get some more of that? I know you dropped that pill in my car. Can you get some more? She's like, yeah, whatever. So it turns into a regular little thing for her getting me these pills. If you want to know this story detail for detail, go watch my fentanyl addiction story. I break it down a lot better. But I end up getting this great job. I'm making a lot of money. I'm still dealing with Tank. I end up meeting a girl named Kayla. I end up meeting a girl named Jonice. And throughout this whole little time, over the period of 2 years, my fentanyl addiction is getting worse, 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 worse. It gets to the point where I end up losing that job. About a year into me having this job, a year and a half into me having this job, I ended up losing the job. And because my fentanyl addiction was out of control and I didn't really realize it, and I ended up falling right back into addiction. And it was a gradual thing, but I fell right back into it. I fell right back into it, man. Ended up losing that job. And I was a full-blown fentanyl addict again. But that was pretty much the point of this story, is to tell you how I got clean, stayed clean for 5 years, and relapsed on fentanyl. And I also want to add this in here. When I say I was clean for 5 years, it ain't like I never touched anything. But I got off the drugs, and every now and again I would take like a hydro, something real weak. But it wasn't common at all. But I would pop a pain pill every now and again. Like if I was at my dad's and he had one or something, I'd pop 1, 2 maybe, enjoy my night, and I'd go home and I wouldn't mess with it again for months. So I can't say that I was like, I guess technically clean for 5 years. And I was also drinking alcohol too. But I was clean for me. For what I was used to in my life, I was clean. I was clean for 5 years. Like I wasn't a junkie for 5 years is what I meant to say, I guess. But yeah. And then I ended up falling right back into that junkie lifestyle, guys. And that's how that went. But hey man, you already know what it is. I'm just a guy that decided to get on YouTube and share his life with the world. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, peace out.